Well, racing on the Saturday at Turffontein on the inside track, this 22nd of June. We are racing alongside Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and it is a busy Saturday for you, the valued racing fan. Lots to look forward to. And what have they put on at Turffontein on the Saturday? Well, let's have a look at it. It's 9 races carded. 11:55, so early start at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth and an early start at Turffontein. So 11:55 race number 1. They got 10 races at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and it's 9 races here. The last race should go off at 16:35. The big one, the Pick 6 at 13:40. And as always, Alistair Cohen on the line. And this is a beautiful time of the year. Beside the main event, which is the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Wow, we are spoiled for choice when it comes to sport, Alistair. And I know, just like many of us, you love the sport. It's the World Cup cricket that is going on. We're now in the West Indies. And of course, Euro. Wow, it's been some riveting stuff watching the Euros, Alistair.
Good morning, Dees. Hello to all the viewers and all the listeners. What a way to cheer it up on a Saturday. I mean, as you mentioned, 19 local races. We've got the URC final between the Bulls and Glasgow at Loftus. I mean, Pretoria will be absolutely heaving. In fact, there's a little bit of me that's quite relieved that I'm in Cape Town and nowhere near Pretoria this weekend. The Boks are in action for the first time this year. They're playing Wales in London on Saturday, as you mentioned, the T20 World Cup. We're down to the business end. It looks like the Proteas will make the semi-finals. India, Australia, probably the two teams to beat. Who joins them between England and the West Indies? I mean, that's all a big burning question. Formula One this weekend, but I think the biggest thing for all of us and for all the viewers, we're 2 weeks away from the Hollywoodbets Durbanville Ds, and it's crunch time. Early next week we'll know the final field. We'll know the 18 plus 2 reserves. As always, there are going to be quite a few that bemoan the fact that they haven't got into the final field, into the 18. A few reserves that'll believe that they should have been in the 18, whatever the case may be. But it's a very exciting time of the year. In fact, Europe this time of year is special because we've got the Open Championship less than a month away. Wimbledon's not too far away. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is brilliant. And you just reminded me, it is Barcelona this weekend for the F1. And the last race, wow, that was stop-start, wasn't it, with all the rain and everything about. But nevertheless, it is a busy weekend, as Alistair mentioned. Let's get straight into the racing. Race number 1 is a juvenile plate for fillies. It's over 1,000 meters. As always, giving you a guide when it comes to the betting as we pull up the field. Number 1 at 9 to 10. Horse number 3 at 9 to 2. 6 is at 7 to 1. 7 at 9 to 2. And 8 at 7 to 1. Well, we got, a 2-time winner here taking on maidens and horses that are debuting. That tells a story, doesn't it?
It does. I don't think it's a particularly straightforward race. And the clue that we would normally get your D's would be, right, Johan Janssen van Vuren's got half the field. Which one's Gavin Larina riding? Well, Gavin's gone to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth to ride one stripe in the Langerman on Saturday. So we don't have that clue, unfortunately. I think we can pretty much eliminate Desert Princess and ignite the light from the conversation. So is it simply majestic or is it far-reaching? I have a funny feeling it might be far-reaching, the daughter of Vercingetorix, with 5 kilos less to shoulder, having run to some pretty useful individuals. On debut, the expectations were fairly high. She just got undone by Pinatubo, who pinched a march on her in the early stages. Second start to Kindred Heart has been fairly well framed. Kindred Heart's been a little bit disappointing in open company, but I don't think she's all that bad. I think Katiwe's Destiny, who's upwardly mobile, easily accounted for far reaching, but I think coming back to 1,000 meters could be the secret here. Thankfully, it's not part of the exotics because obviously number 1, Simply Majestic, the only filly with black type in this race, carries a solid chance. Her last run was obviously very disappointing behind Danson from Santon. Was checked by the vet afterwards. Nothing was revealed, but she has beaten Rodeo Drive. I'd venture to say Rodeo Drive is a much better horse now than she was on the 30th of December, but still Simply Majestic has that scope in the book. So I think Johan Janssen van Vuren will win the race. Our lean towards number 3, far-reaching, but again, the disclaimer with the first-timers, watch the betting on all of them, especially number 7, Summer Winter. She's bred to be very quick.
That's race number 1. Doesn't form part of the exotics. Race number 2, 1,450 meters, a maiden juvenile plate. And the betting here, number 2, 8 to 1. First timer, Alec Laird's runner, is at 9 to 2. Then we got number 5 at 14 to 10 and number 8 at 15 to 10. So the obvious question, unless you found something here, Alistair, are you in the camp of the Colt, number 5, or the filly, number 8?
Just leaning towards number 5, Kamensky here, Dees. Raymond Danielson is riding exceptionally well at the moment. He's got his head back in the game, and it's when he's good, Raymond is as good as anyone with, what did he say, 13 Grade 1 winners on the back of October Maud at Hollywoodbets Scottsville at the start of the month. The main reason why I'm with number 5, Kamensky, is I actually think running against older company on debut will make him a little bit more hard than number 8, One Party. One Party ran to Boston Glory. That's turning into a very shallow form run, but I wouldn't judge it. I wouldn't give it 100% judgment just yet until more runners come from the Boston Glory form, because there will ultimately be winners from a 16-runner field. But I think Kamensky, having run with older horses, steadied in the closing stages, is the report. Rotoro Finale ran second and pretty much sort of okay company on Sunday at Turffontein, so I think the form is a little bit more revealing. So I'd lean towards the son of Water Winter here, just on the fact that he's likely to be a little bit more hard than number 8, One Party, and also with the improvement likely to come from number 5. The first time, number 4, Joost Drugslut, son of Master of My Fate, Caden Brewer, rides for Alec Laird. Again, watch the market on him. Starting over 1450 for me is no surprise, because with that type of breeding, those genetics suggest that he'd be more of a force as he steps up in distance, but it wouldn't be impossible to see him feature first time out. I don't know anything about him, but 5, Kamensky would be my top choice in the opening leg of the bar pot. I would back him up though in the bar pot with number 8, One Party.
And that could be the exacta play of the day if you are not in either camp, 5 or 8. But Alistair suggesting that 5 could be the horse to beat number 8 here. That's race number 2. And I think you'll be safe with both runners and have every chance of doubling up there. Place accumulator onto race number 3. Juvenile plate for fillies. The distance is 1,450 meters. And the betting here, Alistair, is number 4 at 8 to 1, 5 at 8 to 1, 8 at 5 to 2, 9 at 8 to 1, and then this filly has been priced up at 12 to 10, and worthy favorite at those odds against this type of field?
Hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. Worthy favourite. I'll make one of the bets of the weekend, number 10, Willow Wild. We were at Hollywoodbets Scottsville when she ran Peter Maritzburg on that sprint day. She didn't have a clue. She was all at sea in the early stages, and she really ran on impressively to finish a little over a length behind One Smart Cookie. There has been a direct winner out of that form as well. Raymond Danielson's back on board for Lucky Hudalakis. Lucky was among the winners on Thursday at the Val with Bob's Your Uncle. I don't see any form that's quite as good. Example, penultimate start, 5 lengths to Force 8. Might be a little bit flat, might look a little bit flat, but Force 8 came out and won at Turffontein a week earlier, beating a nice field. She's got form to Little Ballerina, has Force 8. So I think number 10, Willow Wild's got everything in her favour. I don't see too many horses that are going to improve past her, and I think she runs like she gets the trip. PA banker, barpot banker, and I think worth a bet. Even though 12 to 10 skinny, that's the price she is. I think she'll win, so that's what we got to do.
Like the confidence here in the third race, bank up in all bets, number 10, Willow Wild, and one of the best bets on the card for Alistair Cohen. So we're going to get things off to a flyer in the place accumulator. Up next will be the big one, the pick 6, and 13:40 is the time, 1,600 meters the distance. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares, and we'll bring up the field and have a look at some horses in single figures. Horse number 2, Easy on Me, is a 2 to 1 shot. Number 4, 7 to 1. Horses 5 and 6 trading at 8 to 1, 7 at 9 to 2, and then number 8 is at 18 to 10. First leg of the pick 6. Can we narrow things down here between, I don't know whether it's going to be the two obvious horses, numbers 2 and 8, or you found something else?
2 and 8 are my PA numbers here, Dees, but I'm uneasy about this race. I'll start with number 2, Easy on Me. Danielson rides for Magna. Probably needed her last run where she ran nicely behind Sneak Preview. Sadly, Sneak Preview got scratched at the start on Thursday at the Val, but it was still a sufficient or a good enough run from what was a good debut, returning 9 months later. She might be a little bit a run away from being at her absolute peak, but I don't think she'll need to be at her absolute peak to give things a good shake here. But is she a good thing at 2 to 1? No, I think she might be vulnerable. But when you look at who she might be vulnerable to, there's a lot of Katiwe's Destiny form earlier on in the day. And if it starts clicking, that brings number 8 Streisand right into the picture under Keratile Kacheri for Robin Klaasen. I don't really know what to make of the last run and stepping up in distance. He showed all the pace in the world and just got found wanting late. Now he runs over an extra 150 meters. That doesn't sit well with me. And Peace Treaty ran a fair race at the Vaal on Thursday. But is it enough to go sort of put your neck on the block with number 8 Streisand? I'm a little bit uneasy about that. And then if you look past those two, then it opens it up to other horses. Ruler of Justice finished in front of Silver Parasol last time behind Ginger Delight. There was 10 lengths in it. Is it worth judging Silver Parasol on the evidence of one very poor run? I don't know what to make of her. She has me stumped because I thought she'd run nicely enough at her penultimate start, but she was put in her place by Scars of War. And then we've got the Spies pair, Gloria Mundi finishing well in front of Messalina. I don't like Messalina here, so I think Gloria Mundi will finish in front of Messalina again. But are they ready to win? I don't know. So by process of elimination, it's one of those races where you're either going to set out with what you see with numbers 2 and 8, or you're not going to trust the first leg of the pick 6 and go wide. I'd actually go wide because I think there are opportunities later on in the day. So PA 2 and 8, Barpot, I'd probably go 2, 6 and 8, but pick 6, I wouldn't take any chances. I think this sets up for a bit of a train smash.
Well, it all depends on how you're going to read race number 4. Are you playing for the result early? If you are, well, as Alistair is suggesting, try and overcome with other runners beating numbers 2 and 8 with a few of your fancied runners. Or you may just take a stance and say, I'm hoping for a form result here. The 2 horses should fight this out. It's all about structure in leg number 1 of that pick 6. Race number 5 will be Jackpot 1, 1,600 meters. Maiden played this. Number 1 at 28 to 10. Horse number 5 at 8 to 1. 7 is an 8 to 1 shot. And then we got an 8 to 10 shot here. Number 11, Shinto Shrine. And I think the first question will be, Alistair, well, we spoke about Formula 1 when we kicked off the show. Will this individual be seeing the checkered flag on Saturday?
To see the checkered flag in front, yeah, I think he will. These are son of Danon Platina, Shinto Shrine, good draw, I think sets him up. The extra distance, I think, will set him up well because the mother, even though by Captain L, she's produced quite a few horses that have gone a trip. Second to Cosmic Speed, placed in a grade 1. Second to Grand Crescendo, as much as I'd love to tell you Grand Crescendo was full value for the win. He got a little bit lucky that Shinto Shrine lost it at the start. And then second to Peace Treaty, who just outran him over the closing stages. I think the extra distance will suit. I think the good draw will suit. Bar Deception Pass, I don't see anything in here that can trouble an improving horse in the former number 11 Shinto Shrine. Just talking about Deception Pass, the blinkers on has me a little bit flummoxed. I'm not surprised to see him step up in distance, but he can grab the bits and can be a little bit of an awkward ride as he's shown before. And I think if he over races with blinkers, he might fall in a hole. I have no doubt that the Aussies would have tried blinkers back at home, and they would have got a good gauge to see how he goes and whether the blinkers are the good or the wrong or the right thing. They obviously believe it's the right thing for the son of Ideal World, but I'm a little bit worried that he has shown a tendency to over-race in the past, and if the blinkers do tilt him just a little bit, then he could be staring down the barrel. So number 11, Shinto Shrine, even though the odds have been a little bit flat over the last couple of months, he deserves a win, he's ready to win, he's banging at the door, and I think he will win.
Okay, Alistair confident there with number 11, Shinto Shrine, but the obvious inclusion, if you're not in the camp of that horse, is just one more runner, number 1, Deception Lasso. You can just multiply that per mount by 2, or you can just let it run through with the 1 horse, number 11, Shinto Shrine. On to race number 6, which will be Jackpot 2, 1,600 meters, merit-weighted 96 handicap. The betting here is as follows. Number 2 at 8 to 1, 3 at 9 to 2. Then we got number 7, Tamaristry, and what a wow performance from him back home with Robbie Sage, 7 to 1. Number 9, 3 to 1. And then it is, double figures the balance. I don't know what we're doing here. It's leg 3 of the pick 6, which means it's leg 2 of Jackpot 1, and it's leg 1 of Jackpot 2. So it's an important race if you have one that plays all the exotics, because we're halfway through if we get through the pick 6 here, Alistair. So this is a race where I couldn't make heads or tails of what I want to do. So we need all the advice that we can gather from you.
And I've changed my selection so many times in this race, D's. I'll tell you, the one horse that stayed true in my selections was number 2 on the card, Paisley Park, under Pierce Straden for Sean Tarry. I think that he's now sort of over the right distance. He's now got into a racing routine. He's a rising 7-year-old and only run 16 times. He's had a few issues, but he's got all the ability in the world. You'll remember he started his career with a bang. I think he won his first 3 starts under Lyle Hewitson. He looked like he was headed for some pretty bright lights, and he's just proven to be frustrating for Sean Tarry and his connections. But I like the signs of life that he's shown. He needed his first run back in March, his second run back over a distance short of his best. He steamed home and finished 3rd behind Richard I. I thought last time he was a little bit flat, but I think that now that he's in a racing routine, I think we can rely on him a little bit more to run a better race. If he's at his best, I think he'll win with number 2, Paisley Park. He might not quite get to his best ever again, but I don't think he needs to be far off to give things a shake. So he's the horse that I'm going to lean towards as my roving banker in all the trifectas and quartets. And then we got the Tony Peter dynamic here with 3 runners, and all 3, I suppose, need to be considered. But Calvin Abiba's gone with number 3, Scallywag, a known front runner, a dangerous front runner. Second run after Alelf, ran behind Bingwa, much stronger company that he ran in last time. He wasn't disgraced. He beat Silent Water's penultimate start. Silent War came out and franked the form a week earlier at Turffontein. A deep draw for Scallywag doesn't worry me all that much because he's got the gate speed. He'll commit. I know that there's quite a bit of pace around him, but I'm sure Scallywag will be set up to go forward. And then 8 and 10 are my other numbers on the place accumulator. Emporium's a horse that's popped up on my radar of late. Better run last time behind Zar Bomber. I liked him in the quartet. He was unlucky not to finish closer. His rating has come down another 2 pounds. If he's not winning, I think he's going quite close, number 8, Emporium. And if he doesn't win, this is the type of horse that I'm going to set up with next time out. And then number 10, La Muhal, I think is a little bit better than what his last couple of runs suggest. I know he's got an awkward draw. First run for Tyrone Zaki. He gets horses to lift in his first run for the stable. He did one with a horse with no form just over a week ago in the form of Lava Fire. I think number 10, La Muhal, could be overpriced, and Samunga Kamalo takes a ride. When Kamalo and Zaki team up, they generally mean business. Other horses that need to go in, 7 Tamara's Tree. If it wasn't for the draw, he'd automatically be in the play. 9 Royal Guard, I think, is still above the handicapper, but 9 months off the track is a bit of a worry. I'd probably settle on those horses. 14 Command Pilot was another horse that I took quite seriously with a tongue tie on for the first time. Lost a little bit of his shine, but I think he might bounce back one of these days.
So, lots of horses here in race number 6 that Alistair's spoken about, but I like his thought process on number 2, Paisley Park, and I think I've mentioned it on a few previews, that Sean Terry, he gives them a chance. He really gives them a chance, whatever issues they may have earlier on in their career, and he seems to just persevere, and they ignite. Most of them, they seem to ignite in the latter stages of their career. And could this be the case with number 2, Paisley Park? Could we see him now start bouncing back to some of his better form? Well, we'll have to wait and see on Saturday if that's the case, to see him back in the number 1 box, because it has been some time. But that could be the value in the race there at around 8 to 1. Race number 7, merit rated 74 handicap. The distance is 1,000 meters. What's the betting in this race? Number 1 at 8 to 1, number 2 at 8 to 1. Then we got horse that is it. That is it. Unbelievably so. Number 1 at 8 to 1, number 2 at 2 to 1, and then it's double figures the balance. I hope I'm correct. I'll have to double check that, because this horse, Alistair, I don't know if I'm 100% correct, but I think I am. Wasn't this Chocolate Soldier that came through for the Durban Dash, the 400?
Indeed it was, and he was awkward off the mark and never got a blow in after that. He is grease lightning, is Chocolate Soldier. He's got an inside draw, but he's got a heavy weight against these tried and tested horses. I'm not mad about the 2-year-olds in this race, and I think the market's got it wrong. I've got 2 pieces of value here. 6 Pendragon, inside track, 1,000 meters, nailed on top 3. He just about always is, as you can tell by his record. Last time he was just run off his feet by Fennec Fox. Another stride or 2, and he grabs Fennec Fox, and he probably runs here with 60 kilos on his back. He got a £2 penalty for the runner-up berth. I've no issue with that. I think he's a couple of lengths better on the inside track than anywhere else. And I think I found a horse here, D's, at a price. Number 8, Time to Shine. My value on the day, Muzi Yeni takes a ride. Rating dropped in record time from a once 90 down to a 60 in the space of 8 runs. Once upon a time was running to the likes of Mover and Shaker and Feather Boa. Mover and Shaker is a stakes winner, and Feather Boa is a grade 1 placed on multiple occasions. Time to Shine last time, not a bad run behind Munchkin, penultimate start behind Candler Gold. I know those were in weak fields, and I know that we can't go mad about the quality of race number 7 on the card, but Muzi Yeni crucially sticks with him. I like that aspect. I think Time to Shine, whatever price he is, he's overpriced. He's my value in the day. I'm going 6 and 8 in the place accumulator and the final leg of the bipod. I'll throw in number 5, King of Kildare, into the pick 6 though.
Now, whilst having a look at the race and I was giving that betting, I knew something disturbed me. It must have been that own goal. Unfortunate for Italy yesterday. That's what must have disturbed me. Because the betting is as follows here. Number 1, 8-1. Number 2 at 2-1. Horse number 5 is at 8-1. 6 at 7-1. 7 at 5-1. And numbers 8 and 9 are 7-1. So you can see, judging by the betting. But Alistair's given you some good information with a few runners here. And the main thing that we're getting out of race number 7 is that we're playing to beat the fancied horse, the juvenile horse number 2. And that is where you want to drop tickets in the exotics. And it could happen here in race number 7. Race number 8 is a fillies and mares 86 divided handicap over 1,800 meters. Number 2 at 12-10. Horse number 4 is an 8-1 shot. And then we got number 8 at 18-10. There are a few races on the card, Alistair, where, the fixed odds betting market make it, a 2-horse race. This race, there is some, leeway between numbers 2 and 8. But are these 2 runners the right horses in the race? Or, again, you want to try and look for some value?
No, I'm not going to look for value. I'm not going to look to beat them. On the horizon, and 7 starts, never been out the top 3. Back against her own sex here. Raymond Danielson takes the ride for Lucky Hoodalakis. She's proven to be a lovely filly to follow. I thought her last run to Texas Red, second on after a Lalford Pinnacle level, was good. Now she's back in a handicap. She should have a good chance of going very close, if not winning. I was close to bankering her in the place accumulator. But bottom weight, this horse Serta under Cabello Mazzaniani for David Nevenhuizen out of a grade 1 winning mare. Her maiden win came against average opposition, but she won in very impressive style. And she followed up with a good run against tried and tested horses like Sound Machine. Behind her was Regal Daughter, who ran a good 4th yesterday at the Vaal. There's enough to motivate her chances off a very light weight. I think she might turn out to be above average. I don't see the step up in distance being any concern. I know Europa Point, a grade 1 winner over a mile, but she was still okay over past a mile. And she could be the fly. When I say fly in the ointment, she's second favourite. So I'm not really using my imagination too much here. But I think we're capable of holding this to 2 runners in all bets and all the exotics. I think that we'll be safe there.
Yeah, I think the key to what Alistair is saying is that horse number 8, carrying this 52 kgs on her back, could achieve a much higher rating than this 84. And if you're firmly of the opinion that she could, then she could be the way to go at 18-10. But 2 horses, numbers 2 and 8, will be good enough here. They seem to dominate in race number 8. And then how are we closing off in race number 9? It's over 1,800 meters. It's a divided handicap for fillies and mares. Number 1 is at 7-1. Horse number 2 is at 33-10. Then we go on to number 3 at 7-1. 5 is at 6-1. 6 at 8-1. 8 is a 6-1 shot. 11 at 6-1. And it's double figures the balance. Alistair, I just want to give you some input because I did the show with Graham. And, I always try to get something out of, whether I'm doing the preview with yourself or him or Grant Paddock in the Eastern Cape. Just try to get something out towards the latter part of the race meeting. Graham actually came up with a horse in race number 10 at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, Mr. Monaco at 12-1. He said that could be the way to go in the 10th race there. I don't know if you found something for us here in race number 9, because when I look at the betting, there is lots of value to be had if you're not in the camp of number 2, Say It With Roses. So have you found anything?
I think I've I've overplayed this, to be honest, Dees. I mean, my numbers in the PA are 2, 8, and 11, but when I look closely at Say It With Roses, and then I look around at Angel's Wish, who drops in distance to a distance that might be short of her best, despite a good win over 2,000 metres last time, but she was grabbing. If it was an 1,800-metre race, she runs a good third rather than an impressive first. And then Lingo No More, who's been on the float for quite a while, gets Muzi Yeni on board, but was beaten by a 2-year-old last time. So now that you've been talking, I'm pretty strong in the camp at number 2, Say It With Roses. I mean, I hate to blow the punters' hopes of perhaps getting a nice 50-1 double in the final races on both cars, because Say It With Roses doesn't offer as much value. Interestingly enough, Darling Harbour, number 1 on the card, has beaten Say It With Roses once, and then last time there was half a length in it, and Darling Harbour's half a kilo better off, but the draw of Darling Harbour's put quite a few people off, including myself. So I think Say It With Roses has got everything in her favour, and I think the big key here, Dees, 3 lengths to Frances Ethel. Yes, that's good and well. That's obviously a good run, because Frances Ethel, although she wasn't the 108 that she is now back then, she's gone through the division. She's an Oaks winner, Volkerbos Oaks winner. But last time she received 1.5 kilos from Special Charm. Special Charm is now rated, 100 and something after running third in the Tab Gold Oaks at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Saturday. So if you add all of that up, Say It With Roses, obviously a full sister to Perfect Witness, who's got plenty of black type. Second one after a rest. This distance should be a sweet spot for her. There's a lot in her favour. Strong case made for number 2, Say It With Roses, despite carrying a heavy weight. Petigrue's come to life, won the last race, won 2 races at the Val on Thursday, including the last race with Silent Blaze, who was tipped on the show under Calvin Habib. She's going to be the one that they all need to beat.
Well, it's all on you then in leg 1 of that double. You said not 50-1. Well, it's 55-1. I've just worked it out. Race number 9, 1635 at Turffontein, and 1655. That will be 20 minutes later. Will be the 10th race at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And this is it, the 55-1 double. Alistair Cohen's going to kick things off in race number 9 at Turffontein with number 2, Say It With Roses. And then Graham Hawkins going to try and end it off with Mr. Monaco in race number 10 at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. The time of recording, I worked it out, 33-10 and 12-1 gives you 55-1. Okay, Alistair, are we wrapping up now with your suggested bet, which is coming up on screen? You want to go through that?
That starts at 1:05 on the Saturday at Turffontein. That will be just after the PA begins at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. So it's Banker 10, Willow Wild, by 2 and 8, Easy on Me and Streisand. By Banker in the third leg, number 11, Shinto Shrine. Race 6, Lots of Chances. It's a tricky race for all the right reasons. 2, Paisley Park, 3, Scallywag, 8, Emporium, and 10, Lamu Hell. By 6 and 8, going against the grain there with Pendragon and Time to Shine. By 2 and 8, On the Horizon and Suitor. And then number 2, Say It With Roses. Now that I've looked at it again, close to a banker, but the official communication that I sent out to the team included 8, Angel's Wish, and 11, Linger No More.
I just did a quick calculation of that perm, and it is 96 Rand, which is a full bet, or you can take a fraction of that bet, as you've come to know, on Tab, where you can just give in your amount and you'll get a ticket with the percentage that you want to play. 10 Rand is 10%, and if you multiply it out, you never know, you could get a nice return on your investment. As always, Alistair, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Shot these, as always. Catch up soon. Looking forward to it all.
Thanks to Alistair Cohen for his thoughts on this race card on the 22nd of June, where we race at Turffontein. Thanks to the entire team at Gallop TV, and to you, the valued racing fan. Have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a very successful day for you. And until we meet again, from myself, Dees Diana, you take care. Salani Gasle.